Hey everybody, this is Wayne, your instructor, and I am going to walk you through last Tuesday's lecture, how to do a switchboard. So we'll cover each piece one by one, but this first one is a text search box. So if I type a partial movie name, if I type, for example, the word bad, if I hit enter or tab, it basically runs a query that finds any movie with the word bad in it. How that works is the name of my form is switchboard. The name of this field is called movie search box. And what's going to happen is we made a query. Over here, there's a query called query movie text search. And basically what we're doing is we're saying for your criteria, go look on the form called, hold on, I don't know how good you can see this. There we go. So basically go look on the form switchboard movie search box for your criteria. And we're putting asterisks around it. And then we've got the little ampersands here because we need to make a text string. Okay, so that's what it does. But to activate it, we have a macro. And over here under macros, there's a sub macro called text query search. All it does is it opens our macro. And when it opens it is back here in this thing, in our unbound text control. Under event, we say on lost focus, and that's when the macro gets activated. Basically, on lost focus, when you tab out of the field or when you hit enter to move out of the field, or if you click out of the field on this form, that's when the macro gets activated. Okay, so that's the first thing we're going to do. Okay, so what a switchboard is just a form with macro buttons on it. It could be a form that's based on a table, or it can just be a form that's not based on anything. Mine's not going to be based on anything, so I'm going to come up here to click Create and choose Form Design. So here's just a blank form. There's no tables next to it. We really just need a canvas to work on. And I'm going to resize it. Okay, so at the top, I would like to put a text box. So I'm going to come up here to this, looks like an ABL button. It's actually called the text box tool. It's under design. I'm going to click it, click on my screen. And on the left side, the label control, that can have inside it anything you want. So I'll type in type partial movie name, if I could spell. Movie name. And I'm going to drag this over here a little bit, and I need to make this a little wider. Okay. All right, so really for this whole switchboard, we're just going to be working with this movies table. And it's basically just a list of movies. We've got the production company, the movie, the rating, the category, profit year. So it's not connected to any of the other tables, it just has good examples. Okay, I'm going to click Save. I'm going to call my form Switchboard. There's nothing special about that name. You can call it anything you want. And I want to give this unbound box a descriptive name. So I'm going to double click it, go into its properties, and under name, instead of text 0 or whatever that has, I'm going to call this movie underscore search underscore box. Okay, so I name my form, I name my search box. I'm going to click Save. And now I want to use whatever anybody types in here as a criteria in a query. So we're going to go create a query. So create query design, and it's going to be based on the movies table. By the way, I'm going to go kind of fast in this, but this is a video, so you can rewind, fast forward, pause, whatever you need to do. And I want on there movie, rating, category, and production company. And why not year 2? Doesn't really matter. What I really need is movie the most. Okay, so I want people to be able to type a partial movie name. So I'm going to go into the criteria row in the movie column. I'm going to zoom in with Shift F2. And I'm going to make my font a little bigger. Actually, I'm going to cancel that because I wanted its help. Never mind. I'm not going to search in for zoom in. If I wanted to look for any movie that had the word alien in it, I would type in asterisk alien. Asterisk meaning it can have anything in front of it, it can have anything behind it. If I hit enter, it changes it to like alien. Notice the whole thing's in quotes. If I run this, I get 3 different movies because they all have the word alien in them. Now the thing of it is, I need to pull this from my form. Okay, if you didn't notice, I just took a pause there to make my text a little bigger. So if I want to find any movie with the word alien in it, normally I'd put an asterisk on one side, an asterisk on the other, and the whole thing's in quotes. To do this, to pull from a form, that's not quite what I want. I have to have quotes around the asterisk and ampersand. I need to get rid of the word alien. And I need to say, in square brackets, forms, a little exclamation point. Need the name of my form, which is switchboard. Another exclamation point, and I name that field movie underscore search underscore box. Let me hit enter and see if it liked that. Yes, so far so good, and I need the other asterisk at the other side, so I'm going to put another ampersand. I need to glue that last asterisk at the end. Okay, so if this form is open right now, and if I type a word in here, like I'll type in alien, now if I go back to my query, if I run it, it did not work. Okay. Let me hit save. Maybe if I save the query and close it, let's go back to design view. I'm going to save this query. I'm going to call it QRY underscore movie text search. Okay, let me close it. And let's try this again. If I am opening it, I'm hoping this will work. Yay, okay. So basically what this query did is it looked back at this code right here, told it to go look on the form called switchboards, and as your criteria, use whatever's in this movie search box, which we currently have the word alien in there. So this basically takes the word alien and plops it in right here between the asterisks. Okay, so I'm going to save this, and this is great. It works as long as I run my query, but what I want to happen is if I type a movie here, like if I type the word bad and hit enter or hit tab or move away from it or click away, I would like it to run, and so I need a macro for that. So I'm going to come up here to create, and macro way over here on the right, and I'm going to save the whole container. So I'm going to click save, and I'm going to call this macros for switchboard. So my container is going to contain many macros. Okay, I want to name this macro. What do we call it? Well, let me drag sub macro over here first. A good name is maybe open, or what is this? Text search box. Okay, my action is I just want to open a query. So if I click add a new action, is open. If I start typing it, query, it's suggested. I'll hit tab. Wants to know which query you want to open. I only have one, so I'll select it. It's the one I just made. Edit data mode. I don't want people to edit it, so I'm going to say read only. And click save. And if you want to close your macro, you can. Now back here, I'm going to come here back to switchboard. Oh, great. I thought I got rid of that. Anyway, I'm going to double click the unbound form or the unbound control. And to activate a macro, you need to go to your event. An event, basically, to activate your macro, something has to trigger it. I'm going to use on lost focus. That basically means when you click away from it or tab away from it, that activates the macro. So I'll choose this, and there's my macro. I close this, if I click save, and now if I take my switchboard into form view, if I type bad and hit tab to move away from it, there's my macro. If I close them, I'm sorry, there's my macro. There's my query. If I close it now, I'll type in some other word. I'll type Thelma. Hit enter, and there's Thelma and Louise. So it's working. Yay! Okay, next up, synchronized combo boxes. So back in this movies table, we have production companies, movies, ratings, category, profits, that kind of thing. What I would like to do is select a rating in this first combo box, like if I choose R. The second combo box will only show me production companies that would make R movies. Notice Disney's not here. If I choose G, the second combo box will only show me production companies that make G-rated movies or have made G-rated movies. Notice Disney is here. So that's our goal. So I'm going to close this database because we want to start fresh. And we're going to go to our other one that's not done yet. All right, so we're back here, and here is the form we had just made a few minutes ago. All right, there's that thing. By the way, if you get this, what you can do is hit Alt F11, takes you into the Visual Basic Editor, go to Tools, go to References, and look for this thing called Missing, uncheck it, click OK, and then you can close the Visual Basic Editor. Anyway, so I need to make a drop-down list. The first drop-down list needs to have G, PG, or R movies on it, and I know inside the movies table there's a column that has those things, so I may as well reference that column out of the movies table. So back in design view of my switchboard, I'm going to come up here to design. The tool we want is the combo box tool, so I'm going to click on that, and I'll click right here. And the wizard's going to help me. Actually, I could just type these in, but this is a little harder, so you'll learn more this way. So I'm going to choose, I want the combo box to get values from another table to query. I'll hit next. It says, which table are you after? The movies table. I hit next. Which field are you after? Rating. Bring it over. Hit next. Do I want to sort? Sure, I'll sort by rating. I'll hit next. And notice there's a lot of G's there. We need to get rid of those. We will. Hit next. What label do you want to have? What label? That means this thing over here on the left. So I'm going to say select a rating and hit finish. Okay, so there's my second object on here. I'm going to light him up a little bit. So if I hit save, I take this into form view. And here's the interesting thing. If I click this drop down, my query runs from the previous box. And that is because whenever I open the form, it's up here in this box. And remember, our macro says whenever we click away from it, run it. So I basically don't want the cursor to be in this box whenever I open my form. So before we go any further, I'm going to go to View, Design View, click on this movie search box we did earlier, double click it, go to Other, and for tab stop, no. That means you can't tab into it. You have to click into it. So now if I hit save, go to form view, notice the cursor's not there. Yay, okay. When I click this drop down, I get a bunch of G's and a bunch of R's and a bunch of PG's. And that's basically because over in this movies table, it's basically saying show everything in this column. So that's why we're getting duplicates. Easy to fix. I'm going to take this form switchboard back into design view. Double click the unbound side of the drop down list to bring up its properties. We'll name it in a second. We need to find its code. Here we go. Select movies.rating from movies order by rating. Okay, if I say select distinct, D-I-S-T-I-N-C-T, space, right after the word select, I hit save and run this. Now when I click the drop down, I get unique values. Okay, back to the design view for this. I would like to name that. So it looks like it's still selected. So I'm going to go to all. And under name, I'm going to call this rating combo with an underscore. So rating underscore combo. So that's our first one. Okay, here's where it gets a little tricky. I now need another combo box that will only show me production companies that have made whatever rating is shown up in this first combo box. So basically I need to make a query that uses the criteria up in this ratings combo box as a criteria. So we're going to go back here to create, query design, and again all these are going to be based on movies, so movies table. And I really just need the rating because I need to supply a criteria to that, and I need the production company, so I need those two. And this is similar to what we just did. I want to look at that combo, the ratings combo box, back on my switchboard and use whatever the user selected as a criteria. So if I type square bracket forms and square bracket exclamation points a separator, switchboard, and square bracket exclamation point, and then finally I call that rating underscore combo. I hit tab, it doesn't give me any immediate errors. I should probably have this sorted by production company, so I'm going to sort by that. And let me open my switchboard in form view and let me put a rating in there, so I'll choose G. And if I run my query, it should only show me production companies that have made a G-rated movie. So yay! Except again, I'm getting duplicates here because eventually just this part on the right will be our drop down. I can actually get rid of the duplicates here. So if I right-click this gray area where you normally have your tables, choose properties, and the property sheet comes up. It actually has the wrong thing selected, so I need to click the background again. And where it says unique values, no, I double click that no, changes to a yes. So if I run it, I'm getting unique production companies. Okay, back to design view. I really need the SQL to program my combo box, so I don't really even need to save this query. So I'm going to come up here, click the drop down for view, choose SQL view. So this is a code that makes your query run. I'm going to copy it, Control C. I'm going to come back here to my switchboard. And I'm going to create the second combo box. So view, design view. And up here under design, I need the combo box tool. I'm going to click it. I'm going to click right in here. And this one we need to do a little bit manually. So I'm just going to click here and hit cancel. Okay, where it says unbound, I'm going to double click that. And I need to put the information from my query in the row area. So that is under data, row source. If I do a control V as in Victor, that should paste it in there. I'm not seeing all of it, but if I do a shift F2 to zoom in, I can see that it's all there. This is going to cause a few problems at the moment. It says select movie ratings, comma, movies production. So it says display two columns. All right. If I take my form into design view, or form view, if I click this, it's showing me G. I don't want it to show me ratings. I want it to show me production companies. So this takes some finesse. I'm going to again come in here, bound column. See, it has a 1 there. And I have two columns. I have rating and I want production companies. Ratings first, production companies second. I'm really after the production company. So the one I want to remember is column 2, the production company. Okay, now if I look at this right now in form view, if I click this drop down, I'm seeing PGs. I'm not even seeing the production company. And I don't want it, so I'm going to go back to design view. I actually want to see the production company. So bound column is 2, that's correct. I'm going to go here to Format, Column Count. This has 2 columns, so I need to say 2. However, the width of the first one I want 0, so under column width I'm going to put a 0, and then for the second one I'm going to put a semicolon and maybe 2 inches. And column heads, list rows, list width, why don't I put in also 2 inches for the overall width of the whole thing. Let's cross our fingers, see if that worked. So I come back here, I click the drop down, and I've got PG, I only have a few. Now at the moment, if I choose G, I click this one, I get the same thing. It doesn't update. If I hit F9 though, it will. So now I'm seeing Disney, Paramount. If I change this to R, again, it's not going to change. They're still Disney. I'm pretty sure they don't make R movies. But if I hit F9 to requery, there's a different list. So I need a macro that'll hit F9 for me. So basically, whenever I choose a rating up here, I want to run the macro and make it update this box down here. So let's name some things. By the way, this query, we only needed it for its SQL, so we can delete that without saving it. And no, I don't want that query. Okay, so we need to name some things too. So combo box 8, let's take that into design view. And for the label, again, this doesn't have to match anything. This is just instructions for my end user. So inside there, I'm going to say select a production company. And then I need to name the text control, the one on the right. This says unbound. So I'm going to double click it under all for name. I'm going to name that production underscore company underscore combo. Okay, so it's called production company combo, and it's sitting on my switchboard. So I'm going to click save. And again, I need a macro that will requery this. So I'm going to reopen my macros for switchboard. If I right click that, I can choose design view. And we need another sub macro. If a container has more than one macro in it that you want to run separately, it has to be in another sub macro. That way you can call them individually. And I'm going to call this update, what do we call that? Production company combo. You can name your macro whatever you want. The action is called requery, so I can either pick it off the list or just start typing requery. You should find it. Click away from it. Basically, it wants to know which control I need to requery. So the control I want is production underscore company underscore combo. And you'll notice I'm not putting a path to it. That's because it's just sitting on the same form right next to my other controls, so I don't need one. Okay, I'm going to click save. So what I mean by that is they're just sitting here right next to each other, so I don't need to specify. I'm not on a subform or anything. Okay, so I've created the macro, but I haven't told it how to trigger it yet. So what's going to trigger the macro is when somebody chooses a different rating up here, it's going to requery this text box down here, or this combo box down here. So if you double click the ratings combo box, go to event, and this one is going to be after update. Basically that means run the macro after somebody changes the contents of that. And actually, if you look down here in the lower left corner, it gives you a little bit of information about what each one of these does. I'm going to click the drop down, and this one was update production company combo. So again, what that means is whenever somebody chooses a different rating, it'll run the macro that'll update my production company combo, hopefully. So I'll click save, take it into form view. So this is set to G. If I click the drop down and choose R, and then click production company, I don't see Disney on here, and which is right, because Disney doesn't make R-rated movies as far as I know. I click this drop down, it should be running my macro in the background. If I choose G and then come down here, there's Disney. So it is updating this list. So yay. Okay, so we've got our synchronized combo boxes working, but they don't really do anything. So But however, if you take a look down below, what they will do is run a query and put the contents of it right here on our form. So what this actually does is, remember, we've got these two combo boxes. One is called, where's the name of that thing? Come on, way up here. Recording combo. The other one is called production company combo. We're going to make another query. Basically, on that query, instead of just looking for our criteria in one form field, we're going to look for two. So under rating, here's the rating combo. Under production company, here's a production combo. So we did that in an earlier one. And the only thing that's going to be different, though, is the query results are not going to run in a query. Well, they are going to run in a query, but they're going to show up in our form on a subform. And then we'll need to do an F9 to update this too. So that's where we're going next. So let me close this. Let's get back to the one that's not complete yet. And I believe this is where we left off. Okay, so I need to build a query that pulls from these two fields. So create query design, movies. Okay, on my query results, I want the name of the movie, I want the production company, I want the rating, the category, and the year, and I don't care about profit. Under production company, I need to make my criteria that goes to that switchboard. So same as before, in the criteria row under production company, I need to say in square brackets forms. That's identifying where this is at. Exclamation point, that's my separator. The name of my form is switchboard. In square brackets, another exclamation point. And the name of my form control was production. If I spell it right, PRODUCTI1 underscore company combo and square bracket. And over in ratings, same thing, just about. In fact, maybe I'll just copy that. Paste it here under ratings. And the only big difference is under ratings, I need it to say rating combo. Okay, so you should have production company combo and ratings combo as a criteria for both of these. And if I take my switchboard here, if I choose G, and now if I choose Disney, and I may have to save this first. Let's see if I run this. Okay, I didn't have to save it this time. Go figure. Anyway, it's working because it's only showing me Disney movies that are rated G. All right, I'm going to this query we need to save, so I'm going to click Save, and I'm going to call this query for switchboard subform. And I'm going to close the query. All right, I'm going to take the switchboard back to the design view. I want the switchboard to have the query results on it, and I can do that with the subform tool. So I need to make this canvas a little bigger. Back under design, on one of your tools is called subform, and it is it this one? Yes, subform / subreport. If I click that, click down here, it says use existing table or queries or and queries. Hit next. I want to use the query I just made, so query for switchboard subform. I want all the fields on. Oh, I almost sneezed. I want all the fields on it, so I'll hit the double greater than symbol. I hit next. What name would I like to give this? Query for switchboard subform. What would I just call this? Well, I'll go with the same thing. Why not? it has the word, oh, subform, that looks dumb. So I'm calling it query for switchboard subform with underscores. Hit finish. Okay, so now it's here. If I hit save, if I take this into form view, if I choose a different production company, notice this doesn't update. If I hit F9, it does. So again, I need another requery that basically says when I change the contents of the production company, requery the subform. So, and this was called query for switchboard subform with underscores. So I'm going to right click my macro, take it into design view. I need another sub macro. I'm going to call this requery subform. And the action is requery. You can pick it off the list or type it. And I need to type the name of my subform, which is over here listed on the side for me, so that makes it easier. So in square brackets, QRY underscore form underscore switchboard underscore subform. Okay, that looks about right. Let's see. I'm going to save it. I'm going to close my macros. I need to take my switchboard into design view. I want it to update when the contents of my production company combo change. So I'm going to double click the unbound side of production company combo. Under event, what triggers it is after it's updated. So I'm going to go to the after update trigger. Click the little drop down. My macro was called requery subform. So I hit save. Take this into form view. I'll choose a rating. I'll choose R. I'll choose a production company, and in theory, this shows me all R-rated movies by Orion. If I change this to something else, I'll go G. I'll choose Disney. It's now showing me G-rated movies by Disney. All right, so that one works too. Okay, next up, I want a clear button that will clear our movie search box, our rating, production company, and then requery this to give us nothing. So there's a button here called clear values, and it does just that. How it works is it reminds you the names of our fields. This guy up here was called movie search box. This guy was called rating combo. This one was production company combo, and our subform that we want to clear is switchboard movie subform. Okay, how that's going to work is back here in our switchboards macro, there is a macro we're going to create. If I can find it, clear values. Here it is way down here at the bottom. So I don't know if you remember the set value command that allows you to set the value of a text control, but we're doing the set value of the rating combo, the production company combo, the movie search box. We're going to set those all to null. Basically, we're going to blank out what's in there. And then to make our query update, we're going to use the run macro, macro name requery subform. It's a query we already created above. That'll run our requery and blank that out. Okay, so let's get started. This is all in a different file we need. So this is my finished product. No, I don't want to save that. We need to go back into the almost finished one. Okay, so let's right click our macro container, go to design view. I'm going to collapse all this stuff. And I need another sub macro, so I'll just drag it out here. I'm going to call this clear values. And the first thing is my command, I'm looking for set value. Set value, if I come down here, hey, it's not there. That's because set value changes things. It can be kind of dangerous. So we're going to click this button up here called show all actions. And then suddenly set value will appear on my list. And there, where is it? Set value. Come on, set value. There you are. So I'm going to choose set value. Oh, I'm just going to type it. Set value. There it is. What I need to set the value of is my ratings combo. So I'll say ratings or rating underscore combo. Hit tab. The expression I'm going to choose is null. And I'm going to do another set value. And this one I'm setting the value of production underscore company. And I'm not using underscores. I want to see if this will work. Being as there's no spaces in there, I want to set it to null. And I want another set value. And this one I'm setting the value of movie search box. And I'm setting that to the value of also null. And finally, I want to rerun that requery we did earlier that will update our subform. So my action finally is run macro. We already created it. Wants to know which macro do you want to run. And so I click this drop down, and the one I want to run is requery subform. And if we did everything right, I hit save. Let me close this. I'm going to reopen my switchboard in design view. And I want to put a button on there that'll blank everything out. So under your design tab with all your controls here, there should be a button for that. And it's just this thing here that looks like a row. That is a rectangle. It's the button with all the X's on it. The button is actually called button. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to click and drag. And what I want to do is go to miscellaneous. I want to run a macro. The macro I want to run is the one I just created called clear values. Hit next. I want to put some text on it, so I'll choose text, and I'll call this clear values. I hit next, and this no one will see this name, but this will be the name of the button. I'll call that clear values too, only without any spaces. Hit finish. So in theory, if I hit save and take this into form view, let me put some value here. Let me put a value here. And I'm just going to run my macro as soon as I type something here, but that's okay. So maybe not. If I hit clear values, it did run my macro as I knew it would. Let me do that again. Clear values. Yay. Okay, it cleared my values. Okay, for these two buttons, we have one called Open Report Filtered by Rating, Open Unfiltered Report. So what we've got over here is a saved report called Movies Report. And there it is. I want some buttons to open it. So if I choose a rating, let's say I choose G. And yes, I know. If I click the button, it should only show me G-rated movies. If I choose R, click the button, it should only show me R-rated movies. And then finally, if I click Open Unfiltered Report, it opens a report and shows me all ratings. How this is done is there is a macro, actually two macros, one called Open Filtered Report. It basically says open the movies report and print preview where the rating on the report is equal to whatever rating is shown in the rating combo, namely this thing. And then to open it unfiltered is basically just open report, name of the report, and no filter. So that's our goal. So again, I'm going to close this database and I'll reopen our almost finished one. So I need the report first, so this is easy enough. Create. Where's my report wizard? Report wizard. I want the movies table. And I'll put production company movie rating category. Next. And do I want to do any groupings? Yeah, I want to group by production company. And hit next. And I want to sort by movie within each production company. I'll hit next. Step, portrait, that's fine. I'll hit next. And what title do I want for this? I'm going to call this Movies Space Report. I click Finish. So there's my report. Beautiful. So I'm going to close it. Save it again. Close it. Okay, so now I need my macros. One to open that, and one to open it with a filter, one to open it without a filter. So I'm going to right click my macro container, design. I'm going to collapse all this stuff and create another sub macro. So I'll just drag this over here, and I'm going to say open filtered report. And my action is going to be open report. The report name should be on this list over here, and it is movies report. The view, I think I want it to be preview. I don't have a filter name, but I can create a criteria here. So I'm going to say rating, that refers to the rating in the report, equals, and I want to look back on my form. So forms, to get its criteria, exclamation point, switchboard. That's the name of my form, exclamation point, and I want it to look in rating underscore combo. So in essence, basically what I'm saying is in this switchboard, use whatever rating is that's in this box to filter the report. Okay, so there's my first one. That's open unfiltered report. Now I want open unfiltered report. So that's the end of that one. I need another sub macro, so I can drag this over. Actually, I can pick it off a list too, so I can choose sub macro. And this one is going to be open unfiltered report. And my action again is going to be open report. So whoops, let's try that again. Okay, open report. And the report I want to open is movies report, and I also want it to be in print preview. And I don't want to filter here, so that should open it without the filter. So I'm going to click save, close this, back on my subform, take it into design view, and you could easily click this button and have the wizards help you, but just in case you don't want to do it that way, I'm going to click here. I'm going to click out here, and then I'll hit cancel to get rid of the wizards. And for my button text, I'll just say open filtered report by rating. And if I click it, nothing happens. Well, it won't happen in this view anyway, but if I bring up its properties, event on click, and that was the filtered report. So you don't have to use wizards to assign macros to these. And I want the other button to open the unfiltered one, so I'll click here. And again, I'm just going to hit cancel. And I can say open unfiltered report. And then I need to double click that. And the event is on click. And I want to open my unfiltered report. So if I hit save, click form view, if I choose a rating first, I'll say G. If I click open report filtered by rating, there's only G movies. I'll close it. I'll try R's. Click it again. There's the same report, only it's only showing me R movies. And if I click open unfiltered report, it opens the same report showing me all movies. If I didn't have anything here, and I click an open filtered report, I get a blank report. So that's why I need to open the unfiltered report. Anyway, that's it for what we covered in class last Tuesday. Your final project doesn't have to have these exact switchboards on it. It can have other buttons. These are just some ideas. I've posted some other stuff up in Blackboard for take a look. Again, your switchboard can be an unbound form like this one, or it can be a form also used in a table. One other thing, if you want your switchboard to open automatically when you start Access, if you come up here to File, Options, and I think it's Current Database. Let's see, Display Form. Here you have Display Form. None. If I choose Switchboard, I hit OK. This, you must close the current. OK. Basically, that means whenever I open this database, that form will show up. So let's see if that works. So if I hit File, Close, File, Open, and there's my switchboard lecture. Boom, there it is. All right, that's it. If you guys have any questions on this, email me or talk to me in class. Have a good one.